back. We're back. The top comment on all of my last videos is, Matt, this is great. Thank you for talking to me about this really cool, interesting topic, but we wish you were a bit more cozy. We wish you were a bit more warm and inviting, and we're a bit more comfy, cozy little guy energy. And to that, I say, here I am, in a hoodie, in a little blanket. Got a candle on over there. I don't know if you can see, but it is snowing quite heavily right now. This is about as cozy as I can possibly get. So I hope you're all happy. And there's so many people were clamoring for this, so I'm glad I could oblige. Also, I'm sorry in advance if I'm coughing. I'm a little bit sick right now. My voice is going to crack a bunch. Winter cold, we've all been there. Today we're going to be talking about a TV show that changed my life, but it's really an episode of TV that changed my life. And if you look even further, it's really just a moment of an episode of a TV show that changed my life. There's a moment of this show, Master of None, season 1, episode 10. It's the season finale of that first season, and there's a moment that really, really stands out to me and that still impacts me to this day. And I'm excited to share that with you all. And then I have another cool image that's kind of a nice mental framework to keep in your mind as well that I wanted to share that I saw on TikTok. I thought it was really cool. So without further ado, let's get into it. I actually tried filming this video once already last weekend, and it just I wasn't explaining how I was feeling properly, and it's something that matters to me. So we're back for a round 2, and hopefully I get it a little bit better this time and I hit the nail a bit on the head. This is, in general, I think, going to be a bit of a shorter video. Fingers crossed for you guys, I guess. But let's just dive right into it and see what the hell I'm talking about. Master of None is a show by Aziz Ansari. It's definitely like a comedy. It's, navigating your 20s, navigating your adulthood type of show in the city with your friends, love life, work, etc. It's very, I don't know, it's a great show. Came out in 2015. I probably watched it when I was 18 or 19, so I was a little bit late to the curb, but that was at a very interesting time of my life because I was, making the transition from high school to college. I was living at home. All my older siblings were moved to a different city or were in school, so I was by myself with my parents, just trying to navigate and figure out who I am. It's a very formative time for a lot of us. So this hit especially hard knowing that. And to be completely honest, I know the very high level things of what happened with this show, especially like the main primary relationships, but I don't really remember the context of when this story came up. I know I've seen the clip 100 times of when he's reading it from the book, and when there's really cool visuals that go along with it. I'll try and put it at the end of this video, but I don't know if copyright will let me. If not, I'll link it in the description. Regardless, please watch it for yourself after this. But basically, Aziz's character stops at a bookstore and picks up a copy of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and he reads like a quick short story from that. And like I mentioned just now, he's narrating, he's reading this story, and it's paired with these incredible visuals that are really just like kind of catch you off guard, and they're really beautiful. But the story is an excellent framework for us to keep in our minds, and that's kind of the main theme of this video, is how powerful mental frameworks can be. Because I don't know if you guys are like me, but my mind never stops running. Like it's kind of always going. I'm always thinking. And so when I don't have these frameworks to kind of ground me and to kind of be in the back of my head, I can get a little lost in the sauce. I can get a little lost in my own thoughts. And we don't want that. We want to act, and we want to act with purpose. And I want to act with purpose and in a way that's moving me to be a better version of myself and towards my goals. So instead of getting lost in my anxious thoughts and thinking the day away, these frameworks, these two in particular, have been really, really helpful for me lately and for a long time for this story to, take action in my life and to like see things for what they are. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys. It's something that means a great deal to me, and I'm sure a lot of people too. So without further ado, I'm going to try my best to read it. And I'll also put it at the end of the video, hopefully, or in the description. Obviously, that's a better presented version of this story. I'm not a professional narrator, and I'm sick, but I'll do my best. I saw my life branching out before me like the green fig tree in the story. From the tip of every branch, like a fat purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a husband and a happy home and children. Another fig was a famous poet, and another fig was a brilliant professor. Another fig was Europe and Africa and South America. And another fig was Constantine and Socrates and Attila and a pack of other lovers with queer names and offbeat professions. And beyond and above these figs were many more figs I couldn't quite make out. I saw myself sitting in the crotch of this fig tree, starving to death, just because I couldn't make up my mind which of the figs I would choose. I wanted each and every one of them, but choosing one meant losing all the rest. And as I sat there, unable to decide, the figs began to wrinkle and go black. One by one, they plopped to the ground at my feet. Like I mentioned before I read this story, I'm someone that struggles with getting lost in their own mind and thoughts. I overthink everything. I overthink making this video. I overthink even starting to make videos. I overthink my career path, relationships, friendships, interactions, even the smallest interactions with strangers, I overthink. And it's easy when you're faced with decisions, like we all are every single day, some bigger than others, to be paralyzed by your fear into inaction. And I don't know about you all, but my biggest fear is living my life with regrets. I don't want to have any regrets. I want to say when opportunities presented themselves that aligned with me and where I wanted to go, I said yes to them and I pursued them to the best of my ability. So this story is so powerful to me because as someone that thinks, I see all these branches. I see all these figs sitting at the end of, what could my life be if I chose this career path instead? If I chose this friend group, if I did this decision, if I did that, if I traveled more, if I did X, Y, Z, like there's infinite, it seems like, possibilities of where my life could have gone, and yet I'm here with the figs that I currently have. And I think you can look back, I'm 25 right now, I think you can look back, if you're already living in regret at 25, I think you should reread the story again, to be honest, because there's so many more infinite branches still going up above you. But I think what I'm trying to say really is at some point you do have to act. And I think that's the scariest part, is acting, because there is a really good chance that those other figs that are going to be amazing, beautiful things are going to wither in black because you chose a certain path. It's a leap of faith to choose what you want to do. It's a leap of faith to choose a career change. It's a leap of faith to start going to a new gym, to try a new workout thing, to try and post content for the first time, to tell someone how you feel. These are all like big decisions that are leaps of faith, knowing that it might not work out and knowing that you might be burning the bridges of the other paths in the process. But with all that being said, I truly believe like that is what life's about. It's a culmination of your decisions that are leading you. All you can really do is put your best foot forward and make the best decisions that you think are the best for yourself in the moment, and then that will get you where you want to go. I truly do believe that. And I think just keeping this in mind, as we're constantly fed what to think, we're constantly fed endless scrolls of input and people talking at us, for when we finally have some time to sit back at ourselves, and like when things eventually do go quiet, we have the time off of our phones without the constant stimulus and input, it can be really overwhelming when we sit there and sit back and like start to think about our future, and you're looking up at the tree and it's all infinite branches and figs above you. It's like, holy shit, what do I do? I think it's easy to get lost in that. So this framework, I think, is really important. Because the last thing that I want to do is I press the fast forward button. Oh shit, 3 years later, I'm 28. 3 years later, I'm 31. Like the time is not going to stop for us, regardless of how long we sit there looking up at the different figs and the different branches. I would rather live my life knowing that I chose the opportunities that came to me and I chose to act on those opportunities in the moment rather than have everything around me, eventually wither and fall because I was scared to ever act in the first place. That's a bit of a ramble, and I'm sorry for that, but it seems relevant. I feel like someone hopefully watching this resonates with this story and this message in the same way that I did, when I was 18 or 19, the way I still do now that I'm 25. I think it's just a really cool framework to keep in your back pocket and to not get lost in your own head. So that's it for that. I did want to move on to the second framework as well. Like I said, this is going to be a shorter video, so bear with me. But this second framework is I saw on TikTok from a creator, Wavy Davy West. It's this really interesting image of a bird trapped in a cage. But the bird could easily walk out of the cage, yet it's standing there holding the bars, like pissed off that it's stuck. Like it is stuck behind these bars, no way out. When if you literally look to the right, there's gaps in the cage that are definitely big enough for the bird to fit through. Wavy Davy West brought this up in the context, it's kind of a small scale issue when you think about it, but he brought this up in the context of Caleb Williams and how he likes to paint his nails and maybe act and dress a certain way. And how he was kind of discussing why that makes so many people so mad. And he brought up this image because I think he was saying that a lot of it might come from people's insecurity in themselves and the way that they trap themselves. Caleb's a guy that had these bars put up, I'm sure. The bars of him, being a quarterback, being in a football environment, being tough and macho, being the leader of a team. Those are all bars that are there, or bars that he could have put there himself. But instead, he saw the gap and was like, oh, I can just leave and still do the same exact thing and be really damn good at it too. And I think this is cool to keep in mind as maybe you're at a new job, maybe you're going to a new city, maybe you're trying to meet new friends or go on dates or whatever. If you, as in any setting where you're trying to put yourself out there in a new way, I think it's really cool to keep this picture in your mind. Because for me, and I don't know about for you all, there's natural bars that are put in place just by the nature of how I was raised, how I grew up. There's a very set path of what to do. You go to this school, to this school, to this school, and then you'll get a job, and then you'll do whatever. It's all very set in stone. And there's a way you should act, and there's a way you should dress, and there's a way you should talk, and there's a way you should, have a moral center, and everything should be kind of aligned, and we all should be somewhat similar, And these are all bars that I have the opportunity in my life to stake in the cage and hide behind and be trapped by. But I would rather live a life where if there's something I want to do, there's something I'm passionate about, there's something I want to explore or experience, I'm going to take a look to the right and see, oh damn, there's a gap in this cage that's big enough for me to fit through. And I'm not going to let myself or anyone around me trap me in this cage when it doesn't exist, when I can just leave at any time I want. And it's easier said than done. I mean, staying in the cage behind the bars is comfortable. It's safe. It's what we know. It's what we've done most of our lives. But I think deep down, there's something that's calling us to maybe take a step out of the cage and explore. And I think it's super scary because of what if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if people judge you? What if people talk behind your back? It's all very possible, and it's better just to assume those things are going to happen and then move forward anyway because it's what you think you should be doing and what you think is best for yourself. So I guess my main takeaway of these two frameworks is with the first one, with the story, is simply act. Take a step forward down the path, pursue the branch, pursue the fig that you think is going to get you to the place you need to go. There you might be able to do excel really well in 3 different career paths, but choose the one that's most aligned with who you are and where you want to be, and pursue it with your whole heart, knowing that those 2 might wither and fade. That's just kind of the price of living life, but that's all we can do is act and not be paralyzed by our thoughts and anxieties. I think that's really the main takeaway. Don't live in regret and think of like what could have been. Damn, if I did this, then things could be different. No, the time to live your life is now. The time to act is now. To take a step forward and find out who you are is now. You can't control anything of what happened. There's no what if I did this, or I should have done this. No, you still can. Those opportunities present themselves every day. So I think the moral of the fig tree story is to act. To act and pursue the figs without, reckless abandon. Pursue what you think you should be doing. I think that's really the main lesson there. And then with the cage, I just touched on it, but it's taking a step out of your comfort zone and not letting yourself hide behind these barriers that you put up for yourself or that others put up for you. Really just recklessly pursue yourself. Recklessly be yourself. Be yourself and don't give a fuck what anyone else says. I think it's the point. Yeah, be the real you. That's what the people that really care about you will want you to be your real self. Will want you to really be you too. So I think you'll see that too. I'll see that too. It's a work in progress. I'm not preaching to anyone here. I think, let's pursue those figs and let's take a look over to see if there's an opening in a cage that you should walk through. I know we all have those things in our mind. When I say this cage and I say these structures and the things we're hiding behind, we know what they are. I know what they are when I'm saying this. when I'm doing this little video, I know what they are. When let's break through the cage, okay? Let's not be trapped by ourselves or the people around us. And yeah, that's it. I don't want this to be a soapbox moment at all. I think I say this in all my videos, but I really make these because they're helpful reminders to myself. And also how cool 5-10 years from now, when I look back at this channel, I can go back and watch these videos. It's really cool too. So I'm really just speaking to myself here, but if you find some value, that is so cool. And please let me know. You can, if you don't want to send like a public comment, you can just DM me on any of my socials on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. That would be so cool if someone really resonates with either of these frameworks and uses them in their life. So sick. Okay, real quick content recommendations. Content. I watched the first episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it's awesome. Get back into the Game of Thrones universe, everybody. You don't need to watch anything. If you're like, I didn't watch House of the Dragon, doesn't matter. Watch this. The first episode was awesome. There is like there's a scene in the first 10 minutes that's a little bit jarring, I'm not going to lie. But it sets the tone for the remainder of the pilot, and it's really good. It's coming out now every Sunday. Check it out. I'm really enjoying it so far. And then for music, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but Flipturn, the band Flipturn, they have an album called Burnout Days, and they just released a live album of the Burnout Days tour in their hometown in Orlando. That's on Spotify. And if you go to Flipturn's YouTube, the whole concert is on YouTube too. And it's not like a shitty guy in the audience recording from their phone. It is like a production. I have not seen many concerts with that level of videography, cinematography, and production. It is so sick. Throw that on when you're trying to clean or need to get some work done. I promise you will not regret it. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Check out the video in the description. I don't think I'm going to be able to put it in now that I'm thinking through it more. Just check out the video in the description if you want kind of the full experience of Master of None and what that scene meant, what the scene means. And yeah, let's maybe use these frameworks in your life. I know I'm going to try to as well. But yeah, stay safe out there if it's snowing. I know it's crazy this weekend. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bye.